the Democratic primaries. After Super Tuesday, voters basically decided the race should be between Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders. So Michael Bloomberg promptly dropped out, and now, in the wise words of the philosopher DJ Khaled, another one.
We begin with today's big breaking 2020 news. Senator Elizabeth Warren is dropping out.
Warren speaking out on her decision to suspend her campaign.
Gender in this race, you know, that is the trap question for every woman. If you say, yeah, there was sexism in this race, everyone says whiner. And if you say, no, there was no sexism, about a bazillion women think, what planet do you live on? I promise you this, I'll have a lot more to say on that subject later on.
Damn. Elizabeth Warren has a good point. Yeah, because like it or not, that was some truth that she dropped there. A woman addressing sexism or ignoring it while running for president is either going to be seen as a whiner or living on another planet, which is unfair, especially since the president is already a whiner who lives on another planet. And whether you think sexism played a role or not, you have to admit it's pretty strange that a race that started with a broad tapestry of candidates is now basically down to two old white men. Yeah, they're so old that no matter which one of them wins, Donald Trump will be the youngest person in the race. Think about that. That's why, like, there's no other job where these three people would be the top candidates. Like, even if they were auditioning for those Life Alert commercials, yeah, people would be like, we're kind of going for someone healthier, you know? You guys don't really look like you're young enough to save, you know what I mean? And now the big question is, who is Elizabeth Warren going to endorse? Biden or Bernie? Is she going to swipe right or really far left? All right, let's move on to this year's biggest viral challenge, the coronavirus. While the CDC is struggling to test patients and stores are running out of cleaning supplies, we're finding out just how fast this thing can spread.
New alarm bells ringing tonight on the coronavirus outbreak in this country.
There are now more than 150 cases in a growing number of states. A New York City lawyer is hospitalized. His wife, daughter, and son testing positive. A family friend who he spent time with is also positive, as are his wife and 3 children. Officials also announcing the neighbor who drove the lawyer to the hospital has the virus. The neighbor's children are being tested. The governor says no need to panic.
Okay, there's definitely a need to panic. Because the only time people say there's no need to panic is when there's something to panic about. Like, a pilot never comes on the PA like, ladies and gentlemen, no need to panic, but we've landed. You'd be like, and nothing, there's no need to panic. Because that graphic is especially scary. Did you see that thing? Look at that. Like, everyone got the virus. That guy got the virus, then his wife got the virus, his kids got the virus, his neighbor got the virus, probably everyone sharing his Netflix account got the virus, huh? The guy who drove him to the hospital got the virus, which means the car's GPS probably got the virus as well. Just like, turn right now, coughing, touching face. No GPS, don't touch your face! You don't even have a face! Now, leaders all over the world are handling corona in very different ways. You know, some are panicking and some are not doing enough. Luckily for all of us here in the United States, there's one person who isn't worried at all.
We have a report today, the global death rate at 3.4%, and a report that the Olympics could be delayed. Your reaction to that?
Well, I think the 3.4% is really a false number. Now, this is just my hunch. It's because a lot of people will have this, and it's very mild. So I think that number is very high. I think the number, personally, I would say the number is way under 1%.
Yes, good news. Trump has a hunch that coronavirus is not as deadly as people think. In fact, he personally has a feeling that the death rate is lower than 1%. What the is that? I've got a feeling is a phrase that should only be reserved for low-stakes situations. You know, like whether tonight's gonna be a good night. And honestly, I don't know why Trump is doing this. Like, why is he being like, oh, it's not that bad, it's not that, he's acting like the virus is no big deal. No one is blaming Trump for coronavirus. People just don't want him ignoring it, like it'll just go away. This is a global pandemic, not his son Eric. And by the way, why was Fox News showing the White House for that call? I mean, based on where Trump spends most of his time, it's more likely he was at Mar-a-Lago or KFC. I mean, I don't even know why they did that. Right, and finally, here's a fun story to lighten up your day. You know how everyone always tells you to not text while driving because it can lead to a disaster? Well, this next driver should have taken that advice.
Please stop what you're doing and take a look at your screen. Check out a major fail after a man passed his driving test. Just 10 minutes later, yeah, that same man, he drove his car into a river. It happened in southern China. Reports say he was trying to avoid those pedestrians on the bridge. Apparently, he was reading, get this, messages on his phone congratulating him for passing his driver's test.
There are so many things about this story. First of all, he was trying to avoid that. Why didn't he just stop? Like that thing, it went bad so fast. It looked like the driving version of Mike Bloomberg's campaign, you know? It was like, I'm the only one who can, Elizabeth Warren! And you know who I really feel bad for? The person he was apparently texting with, because you realize they're still at home, looking at those 3 little dots and nothing has come out. Like, what is he saying? What is he saying? Did he pass the test or not? But still, people, the real lesson here is about texting while driving. Because you see, this only happened because the driver looked down to read his texts, then he looked up, saw the pedestrians, panicked, swerved, and went into the water. So please, don't make this mistake, all right? Just keep looking down at your phone the whole time. You let the people jump out of the way. Yeah, because if people jump off the bridge, we can always make more people, but that car is never coming back.